Welcome back to Court TV Live. I'm Ashley Wilcott. Thank you so much for joining us. We are in Las Vegas, Nevada this afternoon, where a jury has now been deliberating for 5 hours, 22 minutes. You can see we have that verdict watch clock up on your screen. This is for the investigative reporter murder trial of Robert Tellis. The former city official faces life in prison if he is found guilty of fatally stabbing veteran reporter Jeff Gehrman outside of his home over Labor Day weekend in 2022. Tellis, though, did take the stand last week to claim his innocence, saying instead that he was being framed by a major real estate company that he had suspected of fraud. Now joining us to bring us all the latest from Las Vegas, Court TV legal correspondent Matt Johnson. Thank you so much, Matt, for being on with us. Tell us, if you would, please, what is the latest with these jury deliberations?
Well, we are on pins and needles here, Judge Ashley, in Las Vegas. We are about an hour into today's deliberations, day 2 of deliberations in the investigative reporter murder trial. Robert Tellis in custody since his arrest 2 years ago and facing life behind bars without the possibility of parole if he's found guilty. And today, we were getting an insight into more questions from this jury. They are working hard. Early on in their day, they had 3 questions that they submitted to the judge. They include these. Can we get a second laptop to review digital evidence? The judge said yes and sent one back. Can we get a side-by-side walk video from closing statement? The judge said that wasn't in evidence. You will not get that. And can we get the video of the report from Jeff Gehrman that he submitted? That also shows the gait of this particular defendant. And you know what? They want to show the side-by-side. This is what they want to compare, because that was part of the state's rebuttal case, saying, take a look at this video, jury, and make the comparison yourself. It is this defendant at this table. Take a listen to part of their argument.
And then we have his walk. Like, he's got a little hitch in his getup, where he kind of leans to this one side. You can kind of see it. There's something that is about his little walk. And look, you don't have to take my word for it. You can evaluate whether you think what Zach and Christy had to say about it. They've hung out with him. They've walked with him. They thought, and think about how they saw it. They were like, man, they kind of knew the background between Gehrman and Tellis, and they were like, wouldn't that be funny if that was him? He's got those same goofy gray shoes.
So the gate, really a point of impact there for this jury from that closing rebuttal, but this jury is going to have to make the comparison themselves, because the comparison video that was submitted during that closing statement is not in evidence. So they're going to have to watch Jeff Gehrman's video from the RJ, the video that he has of this defendant walking, and compare that to the suspect video on their own. Judge Ashley?
Yeah, you know, Matt, I've always said a video, pictures, some of your best evidence. So tell us a little bit about what happened yesterday during deliberations, when I understand the jury asked for some help to zoom in on a video.
Yeah, you know, that seems to be the theme here. And this jury, it really shows you that they are working hard and they are taking this very seriously. Yesterday, they worked late into the night. They stayed here well past 6 o'clock Pacific time. And they were asking for more paper because they had run out of paper. That was question number 1. And question number 2 was they wanted to learn how to zoom into the videos, because the defense attorneys during their closing argument, Mr. Draskovich, he said in the video, if you zoom in, the suspect appears to have hair and my client is bald. Take a listen to that moment.
You have this evidence. It wasn't part of his presentation, but it's been provided to you. Look at the profile. What's that look like on the top of the head? I'd submit to you that looks like hair. We've seen Mr. Tellis. He gave testimony from the witness stand. Does that profile match the profile in that vehicle? I mean, it's no secret. The man's bald. Look at the face. Look at the eyes. I'd submit to you that those look like glasses. And again, this is part of the evidence collected by the state. It's been presented to you. It wasn't addressed during their case in chief, and it wasn't explained by Detective Cliff Mogg. I'd submit to you, look at that image. there's hair, there's glasses.
Today, the defense team and Robert Draskevich in good spirits here at the courthouse. Anytime that we've seen them walk in and out of court, they seem to be very happy today as these deliberations continue. And that jury made up of 5 men and 7 women deciding the fate of Robert Tellis.
All right, I have to tell you, smart closing arguments by both sides, the jury back deliberating. Thank you so much, Matt, for your great reporting there live. We now want to turn our attention to Mississippi, where defendant Carly Gregg was back in court today. She's the teenager accused of murdering her mother and trying to kill her stepfather back in March of this year. Gregg, who was 14 years old at the time, allegedly invited her friend over after killing her mother to see the body. Gregg had been ordered to undergo psychiatric evaluations ahead of her trial, and both parties appeared at a hearing last week to stipulate her competence. Let's get you into court for the start of her hearing.
All right, Ms. Gregg, did you receive that recommendation of 40 years?
Yes, sir.
And it was your choice and your choice alone to reject that recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor.
You know, if she proceeds to trial, count 1, what's the potential sentence?
Life.
If the jury fails to affix the sentence at life, what's the sentencing range?
20 years to 40 years.
All right, and count 2, what's the potential sentence?
Between 20 years and life.
All right. She's 14 years old, so if the jury fails to affix the punishment at life, she's facing 50 years.
Give or take, Your Honor, yes.
Okay, and in count 3, what's she facing?
Another 10 years.
Another 10 years. So the jury will either acquit you, or you'll be facing 2 life sentences, or this court can sentence you up to 93 years. Do you understand that?
Yes, Your Honor.
It's your choice and your choice alone to proceed to trial.
Yes, Your Honor.
Have a seat. It says discovery is complete except expert reports from McNaughton experts. I thought I've ordered those to be turned over 3 times. Has that been received by the state?
No, sir, Your Honor. And I just, before you walked in, got with counsel opposite and showed them 2 orders that were motions that he granted last time we were in front of you. The order granting our motion to compel their compliance with the mental evaluation analysis, and also the order granting the motion to compel compliance with Rule 17. May I vote?
Do you still intend on trying to offer experts at this trial?
Here, we have an expert that's going to be doing an evaluation. We do not plan on contacting him.
All right. Well,
And Your Honor, just for the clarification, we're aware of the time constraints, and we know that we have to get our evaluation done. Our evaluations happen on Thursday. And
actually, the reports were due a month ago, Mr. Cannon. I signed an order more than a month ago. Now, I'm not going to, there's nothing in front of me to rule on at this time. There's nothing in front of me to rule on at this time. All right. It says that there's some pending motions, anticipated motions to suppress urine test, and both sides think it'd be 3 days for trial. Is that correct by the state?
Your Honor, I believe it'll take probably a little more than 3 days. But there are additional motions that the state intends to file, certainly some motions in limine.
All right. By the defense?
Your Honor, I expect the trial itself to probably take 4 to 5 days.
All right. I'll remind both sides that these jurors are getting paid a whopping $25 a day. So y'all drag this case out at your own peril. However, I'm going to give each side plenty of time to try your case. All right. All motions under Rule 16.1, the motion filing deadline is this Friday, August 30th, 2024. Under Rule 34.1, the Mississippi Rules of Criminal Procedure, all motions must be in writing and must contain a concise statement of the precise relief requested, and must state the specific factual grounds and specific legal authority. Failure to comply will result in the motion being considered procedurally abandoned or waived. Responses must be filed in writing before the close of business Wednesday, September 4th, 2024, or the motion may be considered confessed. Reply to any response may be filed if desired before the close of business on Friday, September 6, 2024. Under Rule 34.2, you must be in court on Tuesday, September 10th, 2024 at 9 o'clock for hearings on pretrial motions. All jury instructions must be pre-filed before the close of business on Friday, September 13th, 2024. This court will not entertain a request for jury instructions either party failed to pre-file unless there is good cause shown. Additionally, an editable copy of all instructions must be emailed in Microsoft Word format to sbutler@rankingcounty.org. All right, I need this attorney for the state. I've already signed off on this.
Yes, sir.
No, my copy, yeah.
Do I need to put the additional motions?
No, as long as the motions are filed by the motion filing deadline, the court's going to consider all motions both parties file. As long as they contain a legal basis and, some case law. All right, anything further from the state?
All right, I think the only pending matter, and this may be something that we address at the pretrial conference, is the defendant, and I don't have it in front of me, I think filed a motion to transfer to youth court that we've never heard.
You want to hear that on pretrial conference day, or do you want to hear it today?
Pretrial conference day.
All right, the court will hear that matter on pretrial conference day. Anything further from the defense?
No, Your Honor.
Best of luck to both sides. The defendant will remain in custody to await trial. Yes. All right. Court will be in recess for 15 minutes.
Well, a lot to unpack here. Did you see that little girl just walking across the courtroom accused of murdering her mother? I want to welcome my guest for this hour, federal trial attorney Alexis Rosenberg. Alexis, thank you for being with me. There are two parts of this I want to speak to you about. Number one is the fact that look at the way she was dressed, the way she sounded, and her appearance. She looks like a little girl. She is a little girl. She was 14 at the time it happened, 15 now. There's no way this happens in isolation. She's presumed innocent. But if she is convicted of murdering her mother and attempting to murder her stepfather, there has to be something more, whether it's mental health, whether it's an untreated diagnosis, whether it's trauma, whatever it is, there's got to be more if she's convicted of these crimes.
This is truly sad, and I have a real problem with her being tried as an adult. She's 14 years old, and I agree with you, Judge. I think we've got some major mental health issues. Something is not adding up that you have this child that ends up, allegedly killing her mother. And as well as they're saying this is only going to take 3 days. I mean, maybe they need to take the handbook, the young thug case from this judge. 3 days?
And a penalty if it goes longer than that. Did you hear him say that? I never heard a judge say that, but if it goes longer, you're going to be paying a fine. You're going to be paying a fee.
Right.
And, the other part of this, and I'll come back to you a little later on for some other stories we're covering, but the fact that she rejected 40 years, I'm not surprised. To your point, I think she probably wants to be tried as a youth versus an adult. A lot going on. There's going to be hearing in September on other pretrial motions. All right, Alexis is staying with us. We're going to turn back to Corey Richens. This is the Utah case in which the judge is hearing evidence to determine whether or not there's probable cause for all of these charges against her to stick. Stay tuned.